Hi, welcome to the She Built It Experience with Melanie. You're here because you want to scale and grow your business, master business strategy, and learn about new tech innovation. Join me and my inspiring guests as we dive into the topic of how to create, build, scale, and operate the business of your dreams. In addition to being an entrepreneur, I'm also a twin mom and optimist who loves empowering you to experience the life that you crave. Magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy. So grab a coffee or cocktail, get comfy, and let's dive in. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Kameron Miller. She is the president of Kamshield. Kameron, can you please tell us more about who you are, what you do, and why you created Kamshield?
Yes, thank you so much for having me on your show. Such an honor. My name is Kameron Miller, and I invented a webcam cover called Kamshield, and I designed this product specifically with children and with women in mind because I wanted to create something where people would feel attracted to the product and want to use it. A few years back, I was designing a different product, and when I'd go into the business meetings all over the world, it didn't matter, London, China, the US, everyone had like a little piece of tape or a Post-it note or something on their webcam. All these meetings, all these engineers, they all have this tape. And at the time, I had just had a pretty scary experience with a stalker. So I had to have security come and wipe my computer clean. I had to go to the police. No one ever said, cover your webcam. When I realized how easy it was to get hacked, I was thinking, my gosh, it is way more important in your private life. That's why I decided to bring awareness to the importance of covering your webcam.
Yeah, your product is so great. I have it on all of our kids' iPads. And, they're walking around playing games and who knows where they carry their iPads. So when my son stops playing a video game, I tell him, just make sure that you shut your iPad cover, because when you have access to all these apps, we don't know who the developers are, and it's so much to try to pay attention to all the access.
It's almost impossible. It's actually impossible to block your webcam without physically blocking it.
Right.
It also goes to the conversations. It goes to tracking your location. Technology has made our life easier, but it's also made us way more vulnerable.
So true. And it had to be such a scary experience for you to go through what you went through.
I have to say, I always look for the silver lining. And I've got 5 sisters. I've got a whole lot of friends. I'm a single mom with 2 kids. My life is full of women and children. And had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have known everything that I learned from it. When I talk to my girlfriends, I give them like some basic tips to make sure that they're not being tracked. So it was a huge bummer, but it was also a great learning experience. And it motivated me to start this company. So it was a blessing.
And I'm grateful. And I know everyone that has one of your Kamshield covers. I'm looking at one right now, and I'm so happy to have it, after all of our Zooms and now all the kids' Zooms. And, it's really great.
Gosh. Yeah, thank you.
Can you share with us how your business has shifted during this time as it relates to revenue or any shifts that you've made that have been positive for you?
Yes. When the virus first hit, Corona really shut things down, I got really lucky in a way because I got really sick with Corona. Like I tested positive for 8 weeks and it made me so weak. I was bedridden for 6 weeks after that.
Oh, no.
And if I was fully functioning during that time, I would have lost my mind. My personality, it would have been really, really challenging. But what it did is it forced me to be in a position where I had to get back to the real basic and the real root cause of why I started my company. When I first designed this webcam cover, I got heavily involved in the promotional industry. I went and got the big printer where you can print companies' logos on it. And when big events happened, people would order my webcam cover. Well, the promo business is not really my passion. My passion is to educate women and children and school age and college age. That's my passion. So during this time, I was able to redesign my website, which I know you've gone through.
Yes.
So
just did the same thing.
You know the pleasure and the time and attention it takes. With the promotional industry pretty much being grinded to a halt because no one's doing these gatherings,
right.
It gave me this extra time to design my website so that now anyone at home can design their webcam cover. It's a really easy process. They can just drag and drop their picture or a saying or whatever they want to. And it brings the focus more back to people and giving them the choice what to design and kind of getting away from that promo industry, which is great. I just didn't have a passion for it.
Right. I know I'm excited to have She Built It Kamshield covers, which are coming soon.
Yes.
So fun that you got to get back to your purpose. I think a lot of businesses have to stop and think, okay, where did I start? What am I most passionate about? How can I build from that? And your business is so relevant because all of a sudden Zoom became household names.
It is so relevant because everyone's now on Zoom. We're living on Zooms.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful to have mine. So you have a full life, your kids, full schedule, running your company. Do you have tips for management for how you stay organized and run your business?
How I attempt to do it. Time management to me is so important. It's the great equalizer, right? It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, man or woman. We all have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it is a discipline and a choice on how you spend it. I look at my calendar and I will put in the things that are important to me. Working out is important to me. And sometimes I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to make that happen. Spending time with my children, it's important to me. So I was kind of getting in the habit, and I'm sure you can understand this. When you're starting a company, you're always working, always, right? And my children, they're 11 and 13. And a couple of years ago, they were just saying, Mom, you're always working. You're always on the phone. You're always emailing. And they were right. To design this product, meeting with patent attorneys, flying all over the world to get it made and the branding, I was always working. And so I've really tried to be disciplined on how I spend my time. And when I'm spending it, I give it 100% focus. So when I'm with my kids, I put away my phone. I just turn it on Do Not Disturb. It's 2 hours, it's 3 hours, and nothing's going to burn down from dinner to bedtime, right?
Hopefully. I try to do that too. You know, I try on the weekends, I try to just put my phone away. And I know for some professions, you can't always do that, but we really need it. I mean, even if it's an hour. So I think that's really, really good advice. And we really put forth our best when we give it 100% of our effort, anything that we do. You know, whether we're with kids, I am sure you experienced this too, but with COVID now, my kids are seeing me work more than ever. And so, you know, I have a little crack in my office door and I can see the little eye looking at me. And they know if I hold up one finger, then it's like, just a minute.
Oh my gosh.
All of these things that we've learned to juggle during this time.
And the second tip I would say is delegation. Learn to delegate. I know we're all control freaks. We all want everything done this one way, and we can look at a logo or a color scheme or the variations of white.
Forever.
Find out what you're good at and just stick with that. Delegate the rest.
Speaking of delegation, what apps have helped you in your business? Do you have a favorite app, technology platform? Because we can either delegate to people, but also apps. It seems like there's an app for almost everything now.
Well, for me, I don't actually use a ton of apps because I'm really mindful about all the tracking and the location finding and the webcam and the conversations. Like I'm surprisingly old school considering I own a tech company. I have some suggestions though with people and their apps.
Teach us how we can protect ourselves from the various apps and platforms that we're on.
We're living in a changing society. There's a lot of us who are splitting up, getting back together, have older kids that can be your parent if you're not careful. And it's amazing what they have access to if you're not careful.
Yes.
So last week we were talking and I was mentioning, have everyone go to your settings on your iPhone, click on your name, and you'll see the Kameron Miller, my email. You scroll down and you can see all the devices logged in to your iCloud account. Mm-hmm. And it is shocking the amount of times I have done this with my girlfriends and my sisters and my guy friends. And they're like, wait a second, whose number is this? Oh my gosh, that's my ex-husband's.
Wow.
That's my kid who's 14 and can get into some trouble if they know exactly where you are and what you're doing. And if they're hacked into that iCloud, they have access to your texts, to your photos, to your emails, to your location. It's gnarly.
Yeah.
So go do that. And then my second advice is sign out. And if you don't know your passcode, it's good. They'll send you a link.
Right.
Click on the link.
Right.
And then do not use your birth date, your kid's name, your childhood pet. Use something weird and then save it in your contacts. A lot of people, they just want to stick with the birth date or the easiest passcode because they don't want to have to remember all these passcodes. So just go to your contacts and put in the password under the, American Airlines, this is the passcode for that. Facebook, this is the passcode for that. And that way it's under your contacts. Yesterday, I was preparing for the podcast and I'm like, let me just look at my location, my Find Your Friends. Mm-hmm. And my son, who goes back and forth between his dad and I, my son was tracking my location, but I wasn't tracking his location. And I was like, hold on. Right. I know I set that up a different way. Right. So it's a good thing just to always be monitoring that for sure.
Things sometimes work and sometimes they don't. I have 6-year-old twins and I have it set up to where if they want to get something from the App Store, because they're just clicking on everything, right? They don't know.
Of course.
One of them works to where I have to give permission. The other one, I have it set up exactly the same way and they can just buy things. I have to call Apple. It's on my list, but you still have to double check those things.
You do. You do. I mean, I have a lot of friends who have time limits on their phones. I just take my kid's phone. Again, I just go old school. I'm sure my kids
nothing's going on.
Yes.
We are all dreaming of travel right now.
You and me
can't
both.
wait to go somewhere.
I know.
And I know people are traveling. We haven't done it yet. We will someday. What is a favorite trip that you've been on? Where did you go? What did you do? Can you give us some specifics?
Oh my gosh. I could talk to you literally for an entire hour on travel. When other people are buying handbags or shoes, I'm buying airplane tickets. I'll go to Africa. I don't care if it's first class. And I have to say, a high card on having COVID for so long is I still have the antibodies. So I get to travel. My boyfriend and I are going to be going to Tanzania this Christmas.
Oh, nice.
We just need a clean COVID test. And I'm so excited. So I would say my very favorite place is anywhere in Africa, South Africa, Kenya, anywhere where you can see those beautiful animals and do the safaris and river raft. And I'm an avid scuba diver. I love to scuba dive and I scuba dive with sharks. Wow. So I look at their migrations. I have dove with great whites, tigers, bull sharks. Yeah. Wow. I love the swimming with the sharks.
Adventure.
Very, very adventurous. As I've gotten older, I've been so afraid of being afraid that I'm constantly pushing myself. I just don't want to be one of those people that like, oh, I used to do that stuff in my 20s. I'm like, no, I'm going to start it in my 40s.
I've been skydiving. And then when we were in Australia, we did a 350-foot canyon swing drop. And,
oh my gosh.
And we were on our honeymoon and I said, I'm going. My husband said, you're going. I'm going too.
Oh, I love that.
And climbed the Sydney Bridge and I'm adventurous too. And the kids asked me, did you ever jump out of an airplane? I'm like,
yes, I did.
I mean, I want to say yes, but I'm like, do I want to answer that right now? And my son, who is 6, has taken to surfing.
Oh, that's amazing.
He is obsessed with everything in the ocean.
When my son was 11, I took the kids to Bali and I got him certified at 11. And he's like a little fish underwater. It's amazing. Kids are awesome. It's like you just throw him underneath, give him a tank, and he's just swimming under. They don't even understand the concept of fear.
Right. So it's so true.
I mean, it's perfect.
Are there any animals that you specifically liked or places that you've stayed that are memorable?
Yeah, the Royal Livingston in South Africa. That should be a bucket list for everyone because it's right on one of the seven wonders of the world, Victoria Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these little monkeys and these guys with bags of rocks to throw them at the monkeys because they're so naughty and they kept coming to you. I mean, they were so naughty, but tiny,
Right.
and like Smurf looking. It was amazing. And there were zebras eating the grass and giraffes. It was like right out of Narnia. I literally went there and I just thought, I could die here. It was amazing. I spent some time in Egypt, but I'm so grateful because seeing what we've done so many years ago, it was inspiring. It really was. Human beings, we are innovative. We are creative. And we've been that for a very long time.
Technology is so great, but at our core, we are still people.
And it's finding that balance, having this time in our life where we're still with people and we interact and we connect. And what I really don't want to happen is that we get to a point where we are getting back together and people don't want to hug and they don't want to hold hands. And we're humans and touching and loving.
Connection is important.
Connecting. Yes, it's important. It's so important. So I really hope that when this is all said and done, we will manage to maintain our connection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
In various ways. I can't wait to go to your next event where
I can't wait to host one.
Right? I can't wait. I know. I'm looking forward to that.
In my intro, I mentioned magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy. What is one tip you can leave our listeners with how you make sure to find and live your joy?
I love that question. For me personally, I live like I'm dying. That question, if you had 6 months to live, what would you do? I genuinely have asked myself that for years. And when I find myself in answers that I'm doing something that I wouldn't want to do, then I stop doing it. Even though it's scary, even though it could be expensive, even though it can be a little overwhelming, I really want to live a life that is worth living. One of my favorite sayings is all of us die, but few of us really live. That is my mantra. So I would tell the listeners out there to do a self-check-in and do what finds you joy and know that there's a way to do it and know it's okay to be scared. It's okay to look at it and go, but this is impossible. You can do it. You can. The human spirit, you can accomplish all of it. And I really do want to live my life and leave a legacy and with my children and my fellow humans that is somebody who lives a joyful life.
That's so great because when you ask yourself the question, if you're thinking about whether or not you want to do something, it comes into perspective really quick.
It really
whether
does.
Or not you want to move forward with it.
Really does.
Or not. So it's really great advice for our listeners.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You have built an incredible business and taught us so much helpful information today. It has been so great having you on our show. You can find Kameron's products on the She Built It website at our She Built It shop.
And hashtag Kamshield, Kamshield with a K, just like my name.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And until next time, keep building your business, making the daily and quantum leaps, and let nothing stop you from living your dreams. If you are new to She Built It, we'd love for you to join us. We offer community memberships, masterminds, innovative virtual events, and meaningful connections to entrepreneurs and corporate leaders. Please also check out our She Built It shop, curated products from women-owned businesses who put their heart and soul into their beautiful and innovative products. We offer She Built It business consulting and the She Built It blog. Thank you to everyone around the world who joined today. Thank you to my editor, Rich Streffolino. Please download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, together, let's let nothing stop us from experiencing the life that we crave.